Today we talk about the evil nations of the world that are destroying Haiti with their invasion and their disturbance of the economy of Haiti. In the background, meanwhile, they sit and talk about how Vodun is the cause of Haiti's problem. They sit and talk about how mismanagement and corruption is the cause of Haiti's problem. And now they want to bring democracy into Haiti. But we are not stupid. And to understand why Haiti is in this situation it is in today, we have to understand the true history of Haiti. And we do that in our segment, True History. Once a peaceful and flourishing island, the bloodshed begins with the illegal crossing of the border by Columbus, who arrived in 1492, changing its name from its original Arawak, Haiti, to Hispaniola. They enslaved and killed the inhabitants by forcing them to mine silver and to do the hard work necessary for the foundation of their colony. With the inhuman killing of the people of the island, Charles V authorized the importation of African slaves in 1503. He was later replaced by French king who took control of Haiti, calling it Saint-Domingue. Haiti at the time did for the French slave owners what oil does for oil tycoons today. For example, in 1767 alone, Haiti exported 125 million tons of sugar, 1 million more tons of indigo, 2 million tons of cotton, and much more. The amount of goods Haiti gave slave owners is reflective of the hardship the slaves went through. The life of the slaves was extremely harsh. Not only were they accustomed to skin-ripping beatings, the sugar leaves will often cut through their fresh cuts, and the salty sweats only increased the pain. In spite of the pain and suffering, several slaves escaped to the mountains and formed maroon communities where they expected to live in peace, and where white slave owners scared of the terrain and wild animals would not pursue them. Several equality and anti-slavery leaders rose as well. For example, Padre Jean in 1671 killed his master and recruited 20 Africans to strangle the slave owners on the island. It was easily suppressed. Years down the line, Macandal, known to be a prophet, spoke of his visions of the great African cities of Guinea. He fled to the Maroons by 1740 and used their sacred networks to build a rebellious following in North Limbe. The Africans, well versed with plants and under the direction of Macandal, poisoned slave owners and their livestock. Macandal was betrayed and captured in 1757. However, he had set the groundwork for an even more successful revolution which began 14 August 1791 with the Boy Cayman Vodun ceremony. This ceremony is very important because it took several months of planning and showed the collective effort to rid the island of slavery and inequality. It was strategic in that it took place in the thick swamps where crocodiles were everywhere. No white slave owners would go there, but the slaves could. They had a special relationship with animals founded in Vodun. The ceremony is officiated by a voodoo priest from Jamaica, Bookman Duty, and priestess Cecile Fatiman, who sing songs of Africa invoking Ogun, god of fire and war. They make offerings, dance, and swear to carry out their plan to set the plantations on fire and eliminate slavery in the land. Word spread, and staying true to their plan, they launched their revolution in the north. More than 50,000 rose, burning down sugar and coffee plantations. Bookman and others take prisoners, killing slave owners. Some slave owners flee to Le Cap, the center of the slaving colonial government. Some slaves marched to Limbe, seizing control of several plantations. More slaves joined the rebellion, taking control and setting up camps. The slaves head on to Le Cap, the capital and stronghold of slave owners. Every entrance to the city is guarded by whites with cannon and guns, but the slaves successfully seized the city. Bookman Duty is eventually captured, killed, and head cut off, but in his place a new head grew. Toussaint Louverture continued the revolution, expelling French agent Governor Hédouville. Napoleon then invades in 1802, stating to the world that never should they allow the Black Republic. Toussaint united the Maroons to fight the invading English, Spanish, and eventually again the French. But Toussaint, being diplomatic with the hesitation of his allies, went to meet and talk with French invader Leclerc. Toussaint was then captured and shipped to France, where he would eventually die in a dungeon of pneumonia due to the cold he was exposed to. However, the fight went on, with Dessalines, a more ruthless and uncompromising soldier who would not hesitate to rid the island of slave owners and colonizers. Dessalines defeated the French and officially proclaimed Haiti's independence in 1804, renaming the country to its native Arawak, Haiti or Haiti. The rebellious history of Haiti and the resilience of the people is a threat to those who seek to subdue and imprison African minds, which explains the demonization of Vodun, a spiritual system that strengthened the people to fight for their freedom. On this alone, several nations in strategic moves to impoverish Haiti by attacking their economy and levying hard sanctions on the people. But the spirit of the Haitian people is resilient and continues to fight against systems of oppression, forever standing as a shining example for Africans worldwide to never relent in the struggle for equality and prosperity of all humankind.